Should we start with Sam?
Yeah, Ellie is gonna give us the green light to start.
Okay.
Okay, so we are live.
Okay, should I?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome everyone. This is Harvinder Dhillon, Settlement Counselor with the Immigrant Services Calgary. And we are having a workshop today on a very important topic, mid and late life adventure. And this will be facilitated by Ed Britton. And so Wissam will be introducing the presenter today after I go through some of the housekeeping things. So this workshop is being held in collaboration with between ICANS, CCAP, and CISP, our seniors program. And so I welcome all of you, and Wissam from ICANS, Parminder from CISP, and myself from CCAP. And so we are trying to collaborate. We are collaborating, not trying, to facilitate, to do this workshop on such an important topic. So we will, first of all, we would like to thank our program funders. So IRCC, which funds our program ICANS, and FCCS, that is the City of Calgary, which is funding our program for CISP and CCAP, and that is Cross-Cultural Adaptation Program. Wissam, can you go to the next slide, please? First I'll go through the land acknowledgement. So we would like to acknowledge that the land where we are on is the traditional land of Blackfoot Confederacy, as well as Treaty 7 territory, which includes Kenai, Siksika, Piikani, Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney Nakoda nations. We also wish to acknowledge the Métis people and the Inuit people who have made their home here in Calgary. And just for some housekeeping things, so I would like to request everyone to keep their microphones on mute. Camera, it's up to you if you want to keep it on or if you want to turn off, but because we are going Facebook Live, so it's up to you if you want to keep your cameras off or on. Important thing is no abusive language will be tolerated. Do not post any personal information in the chat box, and you can ask questions. And you can raise hand if you have any questions, or you can type in the chat box if you have any questions. I think presenter will ask Ed if he would like to answer the questions in the end, or he will go through as we go by through the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, we will send you the evaluation link. We will post it here in the chat box. Please do the evaluation and provide your feedback so as to help us improve our services in the future as well. So now I will ask Wissam to introduce our today's presenter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harvinder, and welcome everyone to our live session today with our guest speaker, Ed. I would quickly introduce Ed. Ed is the not retirement rebel. He's a professional career coach and adult educator. He worked in several universities and colleges inside Canada and internationally. Ed has Masters of Art degree in leadership from Royal Roads University. He's a publisher of the ebook Own Your Career, Choosing the Right Career for You. Ed has lived in Africa and China, and he is an avid hiker in the mountains, as you can see in this nice picture. He's a very enthusiastic grandpa. So Ed is joining us today to help us find adventure long awaited for. So welcome, Ed, and we are all interested to attend this workshop with you today.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. And I'd just like to say thank you to Immigrant Services Calgary for giving myself and all of us this wonderful opportunity to get together and talk about the things that are most interesting to us. And so I really appreciate all of you being here. As far as questions and comments go, I just like them anytime. just type a question into the chat box, and we'll just deal with it as we go. I think that makes it more interesting and lets me catch my breath. So happy to do that. Answer them as we go. Since we're all of the age where we don't have to impress anybody with our amazing presentations, I'm just going to tell you that I am an enthusiastic grandpa, and I'm about to be a grandpa again in just the next week or two.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
I'm very, very excited about that little girl coming along, and I couldn't be more pleased. I'm sure there's lots of empathy for that kind of feeling. So just type any questions that you have in the chat box. I will maybe try to slow my pace of speaking down a little bit so that everybody can hear me. I'm used to doing that, but I'm also quite excited to be talking to you, so that might get in the way a little bit. So I'm here to talk about the Not Retirement movement. That means adventure, achievement, and contribution in mid and late life. And so Not Retirement is your life after you have finished the workaday routine, life after the job, what people have called retirement for decades, with an important difference. Not retirement is for those of us who are intent on achieving what we have dreamed of all our life, but we've been too busy working and raising a family, to see it happen. That's what not retirement is. So we call it a paradigm reset. A paradigm means the way you think about things. So this is a reset. This is thinking about things in a different way than we have traditionally. A paradigm shift for life beyond the job. And I think of it as a once in a lifetime opportunity to choose and pursue the passion that burns deep within your heart. So Not Retirement is a movement, because we have this perfect storm of opportunity that comes from people having more health and vitality in mid and late life than they used to have, increased longevity, people are living longer, and a demographic reality that makes boomers and Gen X a dominant force on the world stage. That means there are a lot of us people who we call mature. There are a lot more of us than there used to be. And so we are a force politically, we're a force economically, and I hope we're a force in our personal and family lives as well, And so Not Retirement, this paradigm shift, this different way of thinking, highlights adventure, achievement, and contribution in later life. And the motto is, the best is yet to come. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now so you can see my beautiful slides that I've spent far too much time getting ready. Okay, so let's share screen and I can show you these slides that I'm so proud of. All right, yeah, here we go. Okay, now if you have been in Canada all your life, or North America all your life, you know this fellow, George Burns, because he was a very famous comedian and actor. And one of the reasons he was so famous is because he kept acting almost until the day he died. And he died at 100 years old. And he was a funny guy. So today, as I said, people retire mostly healthy and they live active lives for another 30 years. So many see this part of life as a time to relax, but a big chunk see it differently than that. They see it as an opportunity to make a difference. Make the difference that we have always wanted to make, to live bigger and better. So, like this fellow here, George Burns, who continued to work past his 100th birthday, he was still having fun in his career. Our intention is often to speed up, not slow down after we leave the workaday life. Anybody have any experience with this that they'd like to share in the chat? You can say, yes, I feel that way, or no, I just want to relax. That's okay, because sometimes I just want to relax too. That's fine. But let me give you some historical context. Okay, so this is a brief history of retirement. In Canada, traditional retirement is to stop working and to just kind of take care of the garden or go traveling or something like that. But actually, traditional retirement isn't all that traditional, because 150 years ago, it was kind of a new idea to get paid for not working. And then in the mid 1800s, a few private pensions appeared so that you could stop work and the pension would send you money every month. And then some governments got into the game. It got older people out of working jobs, older people who were perhaps less productive, and then got younger people into them who were more productive. And so, you know, business and government thought this was a good idea. The people retiring didn't mind either. They thought, well, I don't have to work anymore. Okay, but after that, things didn't get very creative. There was travel and tending the garden and golf and playing cards and playing bingo, and then TV came along. And then there were these retirement communities that started up, whole little villages of people, like Sun City, Arizona is a big famous one, where they tend the garden for you and you just totter about in perpetual sunshine. So this has been going on this way for something less than 100 years. And we have come to think of this as retirement, as traditional retirement. But actually it isn't that. Because before 150 years ago, that's not what people did. They stayed active to the extent that they were able to. Now, in the beginning, when these pensions first started, the number of people retiring was relatively low. It wasn't, because there were not a lot of people in that age group, quite frankly. But now, things are a lot different. The boomer generation, which is the generation of people who were born in a few decades just after World War II, a lot of babies were born then. It's a huge number of people. And they are the wealthiest and the best educated and the healthiest retirement generation in all of history. And so the time is right. We are ready for a revolution in this idea of retirement. So how does your later life look now from where you are? This is a thought question. You just think of it for a few moments yourself, and then type in the chat some of your thoughts and ideas. I have some suggestions here, okay? We have people here from all over the world, so I would really love to hear the answer to this first question. If you could type in the chat how people spend their later life, their older years in your home country. I'd love to hear some people, because I think this is a great group for that, hey? If you were to stay in your in the old country, so we call it, how do the grandparents spend their time there? What do they do? Can you type that in? And maybe with Sam, you could read some of them as people type that in.
Yeah, sure. So Shala says that they are trying to find a job or new business, which is it's really cool. Christina in India, retired armed forces employees continue to mentor younger cadets. And Shayla says that they are going to some countries.
Will they go to different countries?
No, community.
Oh,
They
they
are
go-
going to
to
community.
different communities.
Mm.
And Christina, people who are in regular life join groups for yoga and meditation.
Okay.
And another response here, in Burundi, the grandparents are taking care by their children. They take care of their children.
They take care of their grandchildren?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
older people thereafter decide to live with their children who take care of them. They in turn take care of their grandkids and raise them.
Great. You know, the world is a big place, and there's a lot of diversity in it. We need to learn from each other.
We have here
Canadian-
also Naveed. Oh,
What's
sorry,
that?
sorry, Ed, to cut you off, but Naveed also shares that in my country, mostly parents are cared by their children.
Yeah.
So where are
Okay.
you from, Naveed?
From Pakistan. I'm Naveed from Pakistan.
Yeah. Thanks, Naveed, for sharing this. I think that it's really a great value, right? That there's like the grandparents and the grandchildren, they have this opportunity to spend time together, right? It's quality time.
And also, Christina said they travel to different parts of the world, travel on cruises and enjoy life. That's the story in Pakistan, India, and the Middle East. Parents are cared by their children.
Yeah. Well, that's great. You know, I lived in China for 10 years. So in China, people, if they have like a government job or sort of a regular job, they retire there at 55. And then often what they will do is they will care for their grandchildren while the grandchildren's parents are at work. And so that's a very common situation in China. Here in Canada and the United States, I think that it's important that we rethink what we do after finishing our regular job. And I would like to see people here incorporate a lot of these ideas into the way they spend their time after they finish their regular job. You know, it's really good to hear this, because I think it needs to be fed into our culture. More time with your grandchildren, more adult children being with and caring for their aged parents. We need to pull that into our culture, and we'll be healthier for it. Okay, so thank you so much for contributing that, and I hope that I hope that you will join me in trying to pull some of these habits and traditions from other parts of the world into North American culture. I think it'd be great. Okay, now let me tell you a story here about somebody that did a very, very remarkable thing when she was like our age. This is almost too much to believe. I call these people not retirement rebels. A rebel is somebody who is against the way things are and is trying to change them, actively trying to change them. That's what a rebel is. It can mean good things, it can be bad things. But what it really means, if you're a rebel, is that you say things have to change and I'm going to change them. And so I'm going to tell you a story about a not retirement rebel. And here she is. Her name is Diana Nyad, my favorite not retirement rebel. So when she was young, in her youth, she routinely broke women's and sometimes men's long distance swimming records. When she was 28, she tried and failed to swim from Cuba to Florida, didn't make it. And then life happened, and at 30, she hung up her bathing suit and said, it's time for me to live a normal life. And so she did that. And then when she was 50 years old, in her late 50s actually, this youthful dream of swimming from Cuba to Florida resurfaced, came back to her head. Over 100 miles across the surging Gulf Stream, sharks, poisonous jellyfish, and she was almost 60 years old. She hadn't swum long distances since she was 30. And nobody had actually done this before unless they were inside a cage to protect them from the sharks. And then maybe one or two people had done that, but that was all. Certainly no woman had ever done it before. There were a couple of men that had done it, but no woman. And a lot of people, a lot of experts said that it couldn't be done. It was impossible. So she tried in 2011. That was her second try. She tried when she was 28 and now she's 60. She tried in 2011, but the currents and winds pushed her off course. She tried again 2 months later and was stung by jellyfish so ferociously that she went into respiratory shock. She couldn't breathe anymore. Then the next year in 2012, she was back in the water, but rocked by 2 storms and stung badly again. Okay, try number 5. In 2013, and she succeeded. Swimming from Cuba to Florida, 110 or 111 miles in hostile waters at 64 years old. No woman had ever done this before. I found one man that did it, but he was inside a shark cage, which helps you. It was in 1978. His name was Walter Ponish. And he was 65 years old. So there's a couple of not retirement rebels for you. So there have been many of these kind of not retirement rebels. There's Diana Nyad, she's one of them. Takachiri Mori, the world's richest man. He didn't even start investing until he was 55. And he was reported 2 years in a row by Forbes magazine as the richest man in the world. And then this is Laura Wilder. And if you know a little bit about English literature, you'll recognize her as the author of the Little House on the Prairie series, a very famous series of novels for young ladies mostly. She didn't publish until she was 64. This is Colonel Sanders, and probably everybody recognizes Colonel Sanders, the KFC guy, Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. Yeah, he sold his first franchise of Kentucky Fried Chicken, the #1 franchise, when he was 62. This is, I'm gonna trash this name, Yurichiro Mira. He climbed Mount Everest when he was 70 years old, the first time. Hadn't done it before. 70 years old, up he went. And then, just so people would believe it, that he really did it, it wasn't a mistake, he did it again at 75 and again at 80. This is Peter Roget, another famous name in English literature. He wrote Roget's Thesaurus, and he didn't publish it until he was 73. So he just started when he was 73. Roget's Thesaurus, I think, was first published in 1890. It might be a little bit wrong, but something like that. And it has been continuously published right up until today. You can buy his book on Amazon. This is Grandma Moses. Grandma Moses is one of the most famous folk artists in the United States, American folk art. She didn't pick up her first paintbrush until she was 76 years old. And soon after, a few years after, was world famous. And this is a picture of Gladys Burrell. She completed her first marathon run when she was 86, and she finished the Honolulu Marathon when she was 92 years old. Almost unbelievable stuff. And here they are. This is the honor, kind of the honor class of not retirement rebels. Okay, just amazing, amazing stuff. Okay, here's another way to look at this, a different perspective. Some of the case studies. I'm just curious to know, do any of you know from your own personal experience, people you've known in your family or maybe your community, who have kept going long after people thought they should be just sitting in a chair and knitting or something? Anything that you can share with in the chat briefly? Well, somebody you knew that just kept going after
Yeah,
they
Christina
finished
already
the job.
shared. Yeah, those were really nice stories, very inspiring stories. Thank you. So Christina shared that the moral of the story is never too late to do anything, people. Yeah, she does great for you, Christina.
Never too late. That's
Yeah.
perfect, Christina. That is one of Diana Nyad's, that's the swimmer, the Cuba de Florida swimmer. That's one of her slogans.
Mm,
She says, never too late, too late. So
yeah.
you just said exactly what Diana Nyad said.
Yeah, Christina shared about her grandfather. She's proud of him. He lived till 99 and he served in the World War II. And he was a doctor who served in the World War II.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
99.
Yeah, that's
I've been studying a lot of these people, these not retirement rebels. And one of the things you notice about them is that they live a long time. It's almost usual, it's sort of characteristic that they will live into their 90s and maybe even 100 or past 100. You read their biographies and they are very long-lived people. So I think this helps, you know. I'll show you something, a scientific study that came to the same conclusion. So this study was done in Shell Oil Company because they needed a lot of people in order to do this study. And Shell Oil had a lot of people in it, okay? So these researchers, they wanted to know if early retirement helped to prolong life. So they studied thousands of retirees from Shell, this company, and they compared mortality rates. That means how quickly they died between those who retired at 55 and those who retired at 65. And they thought, like I guess most of us, that the people who retired earlier at 55 would live longer because there'd be less stress in their lives. They thought it would improve a person's life and increase life expectancy. But it turned out that they guessed wrong. Like most of us, they guessed backwards. The early retirees, those retiring at 55, actually died faster, 37% faster than those who retired at 65. Isn't that amazing? Disengagement, or just stopping your job and then doing not much at all, is deadly. Disengagement, that means pulling back and not being part of society anymore, is the virus of traditional retirement. You cannot simply check out and stay healthy. We need engagement, purpose, and passion. So we need this not retirement. Now, here's another study that was done. They looked at a large group of retirees for a period of 6 years after they retired. They looked at when they retired, 55, 56, 57, and they looked at it for 6 years. They found that delaying retirement by just 1 year reduced the risk of dying by 11%. The same conclusion, really. Now, another group looked at how mobile people were after they reached a certain age. They looked at this. This was a 6-year study too. So mobile means, can you still walk, or do you have trouble walking? Can you run? You know, that kind of thing. Well, again, over an average post-retirement period of 6 years, the research produced these results. Reduced mobility. They retired and they didn't do anything else. Their mobility was 5 to 16% less than people who kept working. They got sick 5 to 6 times more than the people who were still working. Their mental health declined 6 to 9% more than the people who were still working. There's really something wrong with traditional retirement. And so what the mature generations need is not retirement. And this is where the idea of adventure, achievement, and contribution come from. After you finish your day job, you need to stay engaged. Adventure, that's doing something that's really exciting that you love to do. This photograph of Nahanni Ridge here is one of my favorite local hikes, Nahanni Ridge. I loved hiking as a youth, and I've recently been able to return to that passion, mostly in the local Kananaskis Range because it's convenient and it helps me to keep fit, and I get lots of great photos. Yeah. That's something else that you notice actually with Not Retirement Rebels, is that they often return to a passion that they enjoyed in their childhood or youth. They say, man, I haven't had time to go hiking. I used to love that so much, I'm going to go back hiking, or whatever it was, whatever their passion was, they go back to that. Okay, here's another one. Kathiani Ama. And I'm sorry for messing up these names. I do my best. She's all about achievement. She's a tiny little person. But she recently received a college literacy certification from India. At 96 years old, she went back to college and she got a certificate, finished her program. And more than that, she scored 98% on her final exam. And that was top mark out of a class, listen to this, it could only happen in India, 40,362. She was number one out of that huge class. And she was awarded the Nari Shaka Award by the President of India. She had a fellow scholar, Caroline Ama, who was 105 years old and is the oldest person to pass that exam. And Caroline also got this special award from the president. So that's achievement, remarkable achievement. And then contribution, we probably all over the world know about Mother Teresa. I don't think she needs any introduction for her lifetime of service to the poorest of the poor. And for her lifelong service, Mother Teresa received the Nobel Prize in 1979 at the age of 69. And she continued her service until she passed away at 87 years old. So some examples of adventure, achievement, and contribution that people can enjoy, thrive in, live long lives, even into their later years. Okay. Yeah. All right. The heart of not retirement is something called passion projects. These are things to do that light a fire in our bellies and fill us with enthusiasm and thrust us into creativity. These are the three types of passion project: adventure, achievement, and contribution. And there's some examples of things that people can do sort of under these headings. Okay. And not only do these passion projects revolutionize late life, but they make contributions that are outside of your personal life, that have real significance in society in general. And passion projects, you know, they're like the best thing you've ever done. They're the best thing you've ever done. Okay, this is time we can get a little bit creative again. Time to chat, time to type in the chat box again. What would you do for a passion project? What would you like to do if you could do anything that you wanted? It would be adventurous, or it would be an achievement, or it would be some big contribution. And nothing stands in your way. We'll give you all the money and all the health and all the help that you want. You can do whatever you want. What would it be? Type it in the chat box, and Wissam will read out your dreams to everybody.
Yeah, go everyone, unleash your dreams. So Shayla, she wants to find a job and take my master at the university.
Oh, wow, great.
And Christina, start a project where youth and people who need a mentor can be helped. And Gladys, will Ed be sharing the slides? Yeah, Ed, yeah, there's a request here that you share these slides with the audience later after the presentation.
Yeah, I can do that.
Gladys is wishing to traveling the world.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Who else? So yeah, Christina would like the world to be a place where warm meals is served and connect over food any time of the day or night.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And Sheila, if I find a job, I want to travel another country.
Yeah.
And Naveed, I want to do my own business and apply my skills in my business.
Great. You know who did that? Started their own business.
Mm-hmm. And Ali here wants to read 100 books in a year, travel,
Wow.
Scandinavian, yeah, and help in senior home. Christina is sharing here that Canada needs to start projects for youth because they are vulnerable and need shelter, food, and love and attention when they leave home. Yeah, that's very true, Christina. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says they are our future, the youth. That's true.
That's right. That is true.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I made a note of some of these. You know, getting a job and completing a master's degree. That sounds like achievement to me. That's an achievement passion project. Mentoring, providing mentoring services. That's a contribution passion project. Travel the world. Oh, that's an adventure, right? An adventure passion project. Warm meals, connect over food, contribution passion project. Travel to other countries, adventure. Start a business for yourself. You know, your own business. I think that's achievement. It could also be contribution too, of course. Read 100 books and help. Read 100 books. That's an achievement. Help in a senior's home. That's a contribution. Start projects for youth. Leaving home. That's a contribution. You see, so your passion projects, these dreams that you have, they fall into these different categories really quite easily. And they really are the things that build passion, that help us to engage, and that just make later life the best thing you've ever done. That's right. Well, Sam, did I see a comment come in while I was talking?
Yeah, Candide says that wants to learn play guitar with my husband and to spend wonderful time with my husband, my children, and grandchildren.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
That's so learning to play the guitar, that's an achievement, and spending time with your family, that's a contribution. So you guys, boy, you nailed it. You've got the idea. You have got the idea. I'm going to spend lots of time with my new granddaughter. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I really like the idea that it's never too late to learn new skill or to start a new project or like to do something meaningful in our life. It doesn't relate to when we're going to start doing this. I like
Such
this.
an important thing to learn.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it'll make a huge difference to your life, you know, and to the life of those around you. The contributions that you can make. You've seen what some of these not retirement rebels have done, just massive contributions.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, giving hope
Yeah.
to people that, to try achieve their goals.
So Colonel Sanders, the Kentucky Fried Chicken KFC guy, his first franchise when he was 62 years old. And how much? I have it written down here. He built that into a huge company, over 6,000 KFC restaurants throughout the world. He lived until he was 90 years old. And the KFC chain of restaurants was sold in 1986 for $840 million. Now, how's that for an accomplishment? Oh my goodness. Yeah. 62 when he sold his first franchise. Just amazing. And look what he did. I'll tell you a little secret about him. So when he sold his business, he sold off everything except Canada. And he kept the KFCs in Canada. The big company that he sold it to, they changed the recipe so it would be less expensive. And it wasn't as good. But here in Canada, Colonel Sanders continued to own the company and he didn't change the recipe. We still got the good one. And he was really mad at the other guys that changed it. When I went to China, I left Canada and I went to China for 10 years. I noticed that the Kentucky Fried Chicken there, the KFC chicken, it just wasn't as good. It really wasn't as good. And I thought that that had something to do with China, but I was wrong. That was because the whole world over, this big company had changed the recipe. But in Canada, we were still getting that really good, excellent recipe that made him famous. Something that I just learned today, actually. So yeah.
Sorry, Ed, just to cut you. Some participants cannot see your screen. I'm not sure why is this happening, but I can see your screen.
Okay, why would that be? What are they seeing instead of my screen?
Can I say something? Did you change your PowerPoint slide or no?
Mm,
Because for me it's fixed, passion project.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's up. Passion Projects is still up.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the last thing I put up was the best thing you've ever done in red writing. Do you see that?
Okay. It's okay. Now it's okay. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
that's the last one.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so you guys have exactly the right idea. You're amazing, you know. And one of the best ways, if we had more time, we could do this, but one of the best ways to find out what your passion really is to go back into your childhood and youth and ask yourself, what did I love to do then? Because so often when you read about these people who are not retirement rebels, that's what they've done. They've gone back to something that they did when they were really young, when they were youth, and they've started that up again. It's a really common theme. So great clue. What did I love to do when I was a child or when I was youth, a young adult, in my early years? There's a clue for what your passion project just might be. Okay. So I hope that's inspiring. Now let's get organized. I want to show you a little bit more about this. Okay. Oh, we already did that. Okay, just go. What would your passion project be? Yeah, kayaking, lifelong dream to pursue, opening a business. We had that one. What did you like to do in your youth? I think this is, wouldn't you say this is probably singing? And then what would you like to fulfill in your family, community, or in the world? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Looks like we've had some more comments come in.
Yeah, Christina shares that she wanted to be a singer
Oh yeah,
when she was
great.
youth, as a child.
Yeah. Making that decision is the most important part. Deciding what your passion project or projects will be, that's really important. Because you get started on the wrong thing at the beginning, then everything that comes after that just isn't quite right. And so you want to take the time to carefully consider what passion projects you'll pursue. We have coaching questions that can help with that, and I'll share those. But I think there's maybe some comments coming in, Wissam.
Yes, and it's also about like some youth wishes or dreams.
Oh yeah.
Shayla also wanted to learn piano. So yeah, Shayla, is this what you want? You still want to play piano, or this was your dream when you were young?
That was my dream, but now I don't know how I can learn it.
It's never
Because
too late.
in my home country, because in my home country we have class for that, but here in Calgary, I don't know where they are teaching that. But I love that to learn play piano.
Oh, you can get piano lessons here in Calgary. Lots of piano lessons.
Where
Yeah.
is that?
Oh, good friend of mine
Oh, really?
teaches piano. Yeah, and
After finding a job, I have I
yeah.
can take it. Yeah.
Oh, sure you can. I'm sure you could just go online, just type in piano teacher, and
Mhm.
you get lots of them. But talk to your
Okay.
friends. You know, if you have friends or something, they'll know somebody. Yeah.
Okay, I will ask you.
Sure, you can do that.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, and when we were little, pianos, they weighed 2 tons. But now you can, and they were really, really expensive. But now you can get a little piano you can just carry around in your suitcase. So much easier. Okay. That's great. Thank you for sharing those. That's where you start. You start with these passion projects. Modeling, this is a framework I'm going to show you now. Gets a little bit, we're trying to get smart here. We're trying to put this into a plan or a model. It's called the Not Retirement Framework. Okay. And the Not Retirement Framework models these passion projects: adventure, achievement, and contribution. And it's based on 4 profiles and 5 ambitions. Okay. So a profile describes you, and it describes you in relation to leaving the workaday life. So the first profile is planner. A planner is somebody who's still working but planning to retire soon. And the second is seeker. So a seeker is somebody who has recently stopped their day job and they're wondering what to do next. And then over ready, okay, this is a person who's seriously bored and their life feels aimless. They need to find purpose in life. That's an over ready. And then cut loose means you've lost your job in an unanticipated way. And lots of people like that right now. So those are the 4 profiles of people who are about to enter who have already entered this phase of life. Okay. And then the 5 ambitions, the things that get us excited and we feel enthusiastic about. All right, there they are. The 5 ambitions that drive us, the things that drive us. Number 1 is family, being more involved and supporting in our families. And then there's community. So engaging with the people who are close to us in our neighborhood, in our town, you know, like that. And the third is a cause. So we are inspired to improve a particular aspect of society as a whole on a wide scale. And then the 4th is personal development. So this is like a skill or a talent that we want to develop, playing the piano or the guitar or singing. Income, providing for expenses now or in the future, you know, getting a job that we like or starting a business. And this can be to finance, you know, monthly expenses. It can also be used to finance another ambition that we want. Maybe we have an ambition to help one of our family members finish their university. And so we want to make some money so that we can help them with that. Okay, so there you go. Now, our passion projects fit into a matrix here. So that's the matrix or a table. I guess you could call it a table. Okay. So they can overlap types. Like you can only have one profile. You're either a planner or a seeker or over ready or cut loose, but you can have several different ambitions or maybe even all of them. Okay. For example, let's say you have a passion for oil painting. That's going to be your passion project. You want to achieve a designation or get a certificate as a professional artist. So that's an achievement passion project. But you also want to contribute to your local community organizations. You want to see your paintings hanging in the halls of their buildings. You're just going to contribute that to them. And you also want to seek adventure with your grandchildren by taking them into the mountains and painting stunning landscapes of the Rocky Mountains. See, I always come back to hiking. So that's how the not retirement framework works. That's what it looks like. And it gives us a visual idea about what our passion project is and how it works. Okay, that's the not retirement framework.
Ed, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you, but there's a question here in the chat. Please, can you explain again the planner profile, please?
Okay, if you're a planner, then you're still working. So you haven't retired yet. Maybe you've got 2 years to go before you stop working. And you're thinking, what am I going to do when I retire? That's what the planner is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
And what about cut loose again, please?
Oh, cut loose. Cut loose is you weren't expecting to retire, but you got laid off. Maybe you got laid off because of COVID. No?
Okay.
Or maybe your husband got a job somewhere and you moved with him, so you had to give up your job. So you've lost your job in some kind of unexpected way.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
You were working in a restaurant and the restaurant closed. Whatever it is, that's cut loose. Anything else?
No, thank you, Ed. Nothing, no
Okay.
more questions in the chat.
So, Wissam introduced me as a career coach, and I've been doing career coaching for many years. You can think of your not retirement passion project as a new career. It may or may not be a career that makes money, but it will consume a large part of your life and your head, your thoughts. You'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll be thinking about learning the guitar. You might get up and start picking away on the guitar 3 o'clock in the morning and get in trouble with everybody else in the house. But because you think of it as a career, many of the tools that we use in career development can be really helpful to your not retirement passion project. They just apply so well. The Alberta government has a world-class career development site where you can find useful career tools. And certainly the Immigrant Society of Calgary has them as well. And so you can go to this site. It's called ALIS. If you go to ALIS.ca, you can just go there, and many of the tools that are useful for somebody who's just looking for jobs are also very useful for somebody who's engaging in a passion project. So when you're thinking of what's my passion project going to be, you don't just stay in your head. You talk with people, you talk with family, you talk with friends about your ideas, and you read articles about it. Maybe you take a course, or maybe you just try it out a little, a little pilot project to get a taste of what it's really like. And doing these kinds of things, the conversation, the research, the pilot project, they help you to understand if this is something that you really want to do. When Diana Nyad was wondering about if she should really swim from Cuba to Florida, when she was 60-year-old, well, she started with a whole bunch of shorter swims just to try it out, see if she was a crazy lady or not. Yeah. Another good question to ask yourself is, when I'm doing this passion project of mine, when I'm really into it, when I've experienced success with it, what will I be most proud of? What will I be most proud of? And type your answer in the chat box. If you finish your master's degree, what will you be most proud of? If you start up this mentoring service, what makes you proud of doing that, okay? Or you've started your business and it's a success. Where will the joy come from when you're at that stage? You've read 100 books. Where does the joy come from? Type it in the chat box.
So we have the first response here from Christina. She says that if I start a place for youth, I would be proud that I have helped someone with their life. And Cecilia shares that she, oh, sorry, I'm lost here. Finished one goal and planning for another one.
Yeah.
Good attitude, Cecilia. Yeah, keep going. And Shayla, she says that I feel proud that after many years trying and working, I achieved my master in Canada.
That's great. Okay, here's that website I told you about. And a specific page in the whole website. It's the Vision Maker. So we're not going to go there right now, but you could write this down or something, or just look it up on Alice later. But this helps you. It's for careers, but it's just as good for passion projects. Okay, it helps you to create a picture of the future that you want. A little bit like we've been doing here. You can just brainstorm it like we've been doing here. You can talk to other people. You can, read stories of people who have done things already and think, wow, I'd love to do that, So you get this big picture vision. And then you get detailed. This site helps you do that. You just describe it in detail and make really careful plans. And then you talk about it. Do the research, try the pilot project. And figure out what it is you just want to engage in and just really enjoy doing, okay? Now, a point that I want to make is that you don't have to be feeling miserable or completely, unmoored. That means having no idea where you belong. You don't have to be feeling bad to reap the benefit of not retirement. You might think, well, things are pretty good. They're fine. They're just not great. You have a nagging feeling in your head that they could be better. It's good, but it could be better. And even if it got better, Would it be best? Good, better, best, or even great? And don't we think that our last lap, shouldn't it be our best lap? So if you're feeling like this, then you're reaching for not retirement. You're reaching for something that will give you this adventure, achievement, and contribution that will bring fulfillment to your life, even the best thing you've ever done in the latter part of your life. Bring purpose, bring relevance and fulfillment to you and those around you. So not retirement is for those many people who arrive at the traditional age of retirement and don't want to retire. Not to retire, not retirement is to engage like never before. The best is yet to come. Okay, and I'd love to connect with you. LinkedIn is probably the best way to do it because I'm on LinkedIn even more than I'm on email. And there's at the bottom, there's my LinkedIn address, linkedin.com. And I post articles on LinkedIn. This is my website, edbritton.ca. So you can see some of my stuff there too. I'd love to hear from you. So I think maybe we have a little bit of time left for questions, do we, Wissam? Or
Oh yeah,
anything
sure.
that anybody wants to say?
Yeah, thank you first of all for sharing these inspiring stories and all these good tips about how to bring purpose to our life and to achieve fulfillment. So yeah, that was really great tips. Thank you, Ed. And now it's time for any questions. If anyone have questions, feel free to unmute yourself, and Ed is waiting with us for a while, so you can go ahead and ask your questions to Ed.
I love to hear examples too. So if anybody has good examples of this, that'd be great too.
So yeah, is there any participant who would like to share their inspiring stories with us today? Yeah, I can hear someone would like to share.
I am Betty.
Yeah, hello, Becky.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ed, and thank you for the very interesting. For me, it's true that the Mr. Ed said, for me, the problem right now is the situation in all the planet. It changed a lot because there are several factors that in this moment, like the epidemics, like the COVID-19, the climate change, and economic, political, etc., and our life is right now is different that the life before, because you can plan for your retirement life. Yeah, is for me is different the situation for people like us, because we are all people. It's true, we can achieve some different things, but I am worried about the younger people because it's different. Because the situation for the younger people, is possible, the life is very, very different. Is my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, we are living in times that have required us to adjust in a lot of ways. That's very true. What you say, Becky, is very true. And I think this method, this approach to look back to your childhood or to your youth and say, what did I enjoy doing then? Because we are very likely to enjoy doing the same things. In fact, really enjoy getting back to doing those things that were fun for us when we were young. And very often those things are not hard to do. They don't take very much money. Often we can still do them pretty well, and it's fairly easy for us to get better at them. So going back into your early life and looking for the clues about what's going to help you to be happy and satisfied then, that's a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Becky, for sharing that with us.
Thank you to you, Mr. Ed.
Yes, I think many of us feel just the same you do.
I think. No.
So is there any other participant who would like to share with us their inspiring story or share any concerns or challenges that they are facing to achieve their goals or dreams? Maybe you can share it with Ed so Ed can give you a little bit of advice.
Only being strong and take care. Yeah, for this pandemic.
Yeah, that's true. I think this pandemic teaches us how to be resilient and flexible and think out of the box, right? Making us stronger.
Yeah.
Actually, this not retirement is my passion project, or one of my passion projects. And it has been almost entirely developed during the pandemic. And it's kept me very busy and really engaged. So in some ways, honestly, the pandemic has been good for me. And I think it can be good for other people too. You just kind of have to look for the good in it. And there's opportunity. There's opportunity there.
Yeah. Some business comes from this pandemic.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, we have to all keep following our passions and try to to keep trying to achieve our goals and never give up, right?
You know, some of my friends, what they've done with the extra time that the pandemic has given them, maybe they're not working or not working as much or something like that. They've actually gone back to school. They're taking courses online and they're getting a certificate or they're finishing a degree or something like that. So a couple of my friends are finishing up certificates that they started before the pandemic, or maybe they've started a brand new one during the pandemic. And when they finish, they're going to have something that's really good. You know, another person who I'm close to has actually started a business, started a successful business during this time. It's all online and it's doing well.
Many
there's good things to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to be creative
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we try.
Yeah, Christina is sharing her experience here, and she agrees with what you just said, Ed. She's studying to be a paralegal, and it was her dream after she got her graduate degree.
Fantastic.
So, mhm.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. I know of people who have written books during the pandemic. They've always wanted to write a book. So, hey, I got time now. I'm going to write a book.
Yes, we take part in the workshops, taking classes. These are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really,
Very
really.
welcome,
I
Sean.
enjoy. Yeah.
That's
Thank
good.
you so much.
So I would like to introduce that I'm working with the seniors program at Immigrant Services Calgary. I saw we have some attendees, like some are Shehla and Betty, Mansoure. They are mostly from our program, but I saw we have some other 55 and older clients who joined this workshop. Thank you so much. And if you would like to know more about our community initiatives for immigrant seniors program, you can contact with me and I can provide you, or maybe if you have time or, skills, whatever you want to learn more. Anyway, like you can be a part of, like you can volunteer. So in either way, you can be part of this program. If you want more information, please contact with me. Thank you.
Yes, I start with Parminder at the Immigrant Service Calgary as a volunteer. Now I am coming
She
your
started as a
workshops.
volunteer, Shehla, and now she is our very active participant in all our classes. Thank you, Shehla.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Parminder. This is Halime.
Hi, Halime.
Yeah, I came late because I have a net problem. Now it's not too easy to me. By the day, I will learn it much more.
I know. Thank you so much. I just saw your name very late. I know you joined very late. So
yes. I tried to.
I think I was hoping. I know. So I will send another email to Ed, and if we can, arrange something else for our because Ed, the problem is right now most of my seniors, they are attending classes, but they are very familiar with Microsoft Teams rather than Zoom.
Yes.
So if we can have another session on Teams, and I can promise that more seniors can take advantage of these kind of programs.
Yeah, no problem.
Halime, I will talk with him and then maybe we can plan something else in coming months.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And if I get the presentation, sure I will share with you.
I'll send it on.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, then I will try to my best to, send it to everyone who participated. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you so much, Ed, for having this presentation with us today. It was really great opportunity to learn more about like how can we better use our time and to keep going with our dreams and not to stop dreaming, right?
That's right.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are looking for more presentations from you, Ed. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And feel free to connect with Ed and also to connect with Parminder. If you have any other questions, we can always, we will be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you have questions for Ed, you can directly contact with him. Here you can see his contact information on the screen. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I talk to Parminder?
Yeah, yes, Halime.